Good night, everybody, and welcome once again to another LimeVibe Live podcast. I'm your host, Yuri Araman Camp from Nassau, Bahamas, along with my co-host, who's back with us today after having an absence on Monday, Miss Kimberly Ram Callahan from Trinidad and Tobago. How you doing tonight, Kim?
Hi, good night. I just want to apologize for Monday. It was my intentions to be here. I
Mm,
was all prepared to talk about our emancipation celebrations and to discuss
mm,
emancipation throughout the Caribbean.
mm.
But just minutes before we were supposed to go on air, I had an emergency with an allergic reaction that caused my throat
Mm.
to swell.
Oh my goodness.
And that, enabled it. I could not speak with that. And
Mm,
that's why I was not able to be here. And lately, if I'm sick, it's because it's really horrible, and I'm
mm.
trying to handle everything, but it's only so much I'm allowed to do
Yeah,
with my
yeah,
situation.
yeah. Thanks for letting people know, Kim. You said you had shell food, right?
I'm allergic to shell food, but I apparently I'm allergic to some wheat, grains of
Mm,
wheat, and you're never too sure of
mm,
what's going on.
mm,
Um, I'm only eating crackers lately because of how I'm throwing up.
mm. Okay.
Um, the pain that I'm going through and everything.
Mm,
And I think it was the type of flour that I had probably triggered a swelling in the throat and the throwing up as well.
mm.
So that would have, worsened the situation with my throat.
Okay, okay. I'm glad you're back and I didn't put you out permanently. So that's always a good thing. Glad to have you back, man. But I tried to hold the show without you, but it's no fun without you being here, Kim. As I said, trying to have the conversation going off and the one to throw it off of is kind of like,
I
so I'm
know
glad
it,
you're
it
back.
is hard to carry an entire hour show by yourself without
Yeah.
any, because
Yeah.
I
So
have experience hosting a 2-hour morning show here in
oh my
Trinidad
goodness.
some time ago, and it's by myself hosting a 2-hour show,
Mm.
but I usually have guests with me to discuss. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
usually have commercial breaks and things like that, news breaks, commercial breaks, to
Mm.
kind of ease that constant strain on your voice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is rough. But I'm glad you're back though. So you were saying something about your Emancipation Day. What happened? I heard the king of Ghana,
King
the
Asante
Asante tribe.
from
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's apparently here till the 5th. Normally they stay until the end of Emancipation Day, but
Mm,
they're here till the 5th of August.
mm,
On Emancipation Day, which was on Tuesday, yesterday,
mm,
there's the usual Emancipation Day parade, and they have the village in Port of Spain, and
mm,
they usually have all the artifacts and celebrate all the clothing and everything. It's
mm.
usually a big celebration with the drums and procession throughout the entire streets of Port of Spain.
Mm. And this is the
And
first time the king visited, right?
no, I think it's the first time they came. I know Trinidad's prime minister visited back in 2016 or 2017.
Mm,
And they met then and they
mm,
signed an agreement for provisions.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So you have royalty amongst you today, Kim. How does that make you feel?
I mean, there is a lot of underground talk about why is not something being spoken about reparations. We're waiting
Mm,
to hear that from their side.
uh,
I know earlier in the year when the Jamaican royals visited uh, for the reparations committee,
mm.
that I think a contingent of kings and queens visited Jamaica to
Really?
discuss reparations. Yes. So
African kings and queens?
it came like 2 weeks after they had the entire discourse on
Mm,
reparations, which Caribbean Magazine Plus would have covered. I'm
mm,
not sure if I was able to cover the kings and queens.
mm,
I think I was busy at the time with an assignment or something like that.
mm. Yeah, I would have remembered that, but I remember the kings and
Yeah.
queens being there. Yeah.
We did discuss that, and then obviously we had the whole report that came out some months ago
Mm,
as
mm.
well.
Okay,
So
okay.
the entire discussion has been happening in the region. A lot of people have been talking. They described it as an oxymoron in the sense of y'all are celebrating emancipation, but y'all
Mm,
have invited a king that
mm,
dates back
mm,
to selling of the slaves.
mm,
And I'm not sure if that was acknowledged in speeches or conversations on
mm,
stage,
mm,
but certainly the heads and delegations have not spoken to it yet.
mm.
But it is being said, a conversation is happening on the ground among the people on social media.
Okay,
A
okay.
key journalist would have brought it up, and they were asking even why media houses have not asked about it as well.
I guess it's
But
not a hot burning issue.
I'm guessing, I mean, it is it is obvious because reparations has been high on the agenda among conversations in the region for some time now.
Yes, yes.
And it would be wise to address that. You're here on a visit, at least speak to it kindly. I'm guessing that it's all forgiven. I
I
would have
think,
taken your show on Monday and how you would have addressed it as well.
yeah,
Then you
in my
have some
crass way.
liberties to speak like that. I will not go that distance.
Yeah, yeah, my crass way I addressed that. That's right, that's right. But in saying that, though, at least Ghana was the only African country to give an official apology to the Caribbean diaspora for their part in slavery. I think,
Right.
yeah, yeah. So that was done back in 2015. They made a formal apology. I think that was the year of the return as well, too, wasn't it?
Okay. Well, I was not aware of that
Yeah,
much.
yeah. Ghana was the only African country thus far to apologize formally for participating in the slave trade to the Caribbean diaspora. But you mentioned something about reparations. I think Antigua and Barbuda has kicked it up again because
Yes.
yeah, he's talking about Gaston Brown, the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, is talking about reparations again. And I think Brown says emancipation recognizes the centuries of enslavement, the crime against humanity that robbed us of basic human dignity, which reduced us to chattel, property, and extracted blood, sweat, and tears to provide the wealth for the developed Europe. In these celebrations, we pay respect and homage to our ancestors, those who bore the whips and chains, those who helped clear the path to our freedom through their resistance and sacrifices. It is in their honor, in their memory, that the nations of this Caribbean, among which Antigua and Barbuda stands tall, say to Europe in a non-confrontational manner, you owe us. For 200 years of free labor, you must pay reparations. Yeah, Brown is talking tough, man. That funny looking mustache, he's very serious.
Yeah, and Antigua and Barbuda are actually one of the countries in the Caribbean that has set up a reparations committee for some time now. They actually celebrated 10 years of their reparations support commission. So they are taking this seriously. They understand that, hey, a lot of people don't have land ownership because of these things, you know.
Yes, because the white Europeans had a head start on everybody, man.
Exactly.
Even in the Bahamas, they still own most of the land. They still own at least about 70% of the land in the Bahamas. Yeah. These white established families.
And the thing is, they have continued to benefit from these lands because a lot of them would have come and set up their bed and breakfast and their hotels and things like that in the region. And it's perpetuated some sort of wealth to their generations currently.
Yes.
While
they call us lazy.
Yeah.
They call us lazy and have no ambition. But there's nothing to work for if you're not given on anything, man. You know, what do you want us to do? Rob from you? Steal from you?
Taking away people's dignity. You've taken away, you know, people's right to own, you know, just basic living rights, and they've had to build themselves up from scratch.
Yes, indeed. And people don't realize, they think it's just slavery. If you don't realize how dehumanizing it is to live in a country where you are almost like a second class or third class citizen, but you have no access to property, you have no land, and it's if it's like you're at the mercy of these legitimate degenerates, man, to do anything they want to you, anything to compromise you in any way, shape, or form. And when they finish you, they discard you, and it's a self-perpetuating loop. Because once you empower them to be that narcissistic sociopathic group, they continue to abuse people. Not everybody stands up for it, but they expect everybody from that third class to really take that nonsense from them. And not everybody's into that, Kim. Not everybody's into that. Some people have integrity in class, man.
Yes, exactly. And I believe most of our people that have come here, they've toiled, and you know, the generations of grandparents, they've worked hard, they've paid their dues, and they've brought their children and their families up in such a way to always work hard to get to whatever you have.
Exactly. Gotta work hard.
They have tried their earnest best to do something for the generations ahead.
Yeah. I keep working at it. At least Gaston Brown, the Prime Minister of Antigua, he's really setting the tone. I still get it was funny looking mustache though, Kim. I'm sorry. I'm maybe I'm too childish.
Yes, I would say.
I'm too immature, but I can't get over that mustache, man. But anyway, did you read the other news? Apparently, Jamaica's reggae girls, they've advanced to the round of 16 in the women's football. You know, they had a 0-0 draw against Brazil yesterday, and now they've advanced to the FIBA Women's round of 16. This is the first Caribbean country to ever advance to the round of 16. The reggae girls, they call them. Like how they call your boys, the soca boys. These are the reggae girls of Jamaica. And I saw some videos of them. Those girls were on the pitch crying, man. They couldn't believe. You know, it was a very emotional scene, man. You know, I'm proud of the reggae girls, man. You know, they reached the round of 16. Hopefully they could go all the way. That'll be something with Jamaica. Did the reggae girls go all the way for the FIBA Women's World Cup?
Yes, I would hope so.
Yeah, you couldn't shut them up after that. They had Bolts, and and now they have the reggae girls. You wouldn't be. They have Kamala Harris. You wouldn't be able to shut a Jamaican up. Talking about patois. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to shut them up. But I'm hoping they do something. I hope they get at least the quarterfinals. At least the quarterfinals. So we'll be able to see them in their majesty. Because those girls on the pitch crying. We should go look at the video on YouTube. They could not believe that a 0-0 draw. A 0-0 draw. I can't get over soccer game. I'm sorry. How the hell do you have a 0-0 draw and advance? I know it's a point system, right? But still, you got to score at least a point, man. My God.
They'll come again in the other round. I believe so.
Yeah, I hope they score something at least hit one goal. Even if it's only an own goal, man.
But they put up a good fight.
Oh yeah, man. Against Brazil. Brazil is one of the top teams, man.
Definitely. Yes, we know that for sure.
So they did a good job at least.
What are your thoughts on this whole Saudi Fund for Development taking place? It's making its round in the region. I saw that St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister, Ralph Gonsalves, had something to say about it, as well as Dickon Mitchell of Grenada.
Yeah. We got our money from the Saudis. At least we signed for our money from the Saudis about 2 weeks ago. And so I love it, man. The more people spending money on developing the Caribbean, the better. Because the Saudis too are part of this this increase in carbons in the air, you know, because they pump most of the oil.
Yes.
So they should put back into development of these Caribbean countries that are being devastated by climate change, you know. And I like the Saudis. I don't have nothing wrong with the Saudis. Absolutely nothing wrong with the Saudis. Let them spend their money because they have the money to spend. Let them spend their money, man.
But I think I know at least it's more on the socioeconomic development side for the population.
Yes.
It's their way of trying to bring some support to the small island developing states.
Yes. We can use it because 100 million of them is a drop in the bucket, but to us, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, so
and they've been around for some time. I think they've been doing this since 1975. From the Saudi Fund, at least. The SFD has been around for that long.
Well, this is the first time I've ever heard it being so pronounced. I wonder what's bringing. I told you, man, this Kamala Harris effect is bringing all these players to the Caribbean in a very open and transparent way. It's no longer hidden money, man. They're coming and they're spending money with us openly. They're willing to help us openly. I have to thank Kamala Harris for putting the spotlight and letting the people know.
You think it's just her alone?
I mean, not her alone. Not her alone. Of course, you know, me and Marty has something to do.
You all are close to America, so you all tend to big up the Americans quite a good bit.
No, man, but Kim, she is the vice president of the free world. I mean, she is the second highest ranking.
But I don't think they really see her. They see her as the VP. It's not Biden. And I've never really paid that much attention to a VP, at least from the United States, right?
No, but I think her lobbying behind the scenes, you're not sure exactly what all she's doing, but I know she's been lobbying behind the scenes.
I know that this whole thing has links to the UN. And I know Antonio Guterres, their Secretary General, has been quite vocal, and he is from Europe and has been having talks with these kinds of countries to do something. So I would actually look at the United Nations, because he's been visiting the Caribbean. He's been here a good few times since he took over. Yeah,
him too. I mean, I'm not trying to overshadow everybody else that's involved in the process, you know, Ken. I'm just saying that, you know, since she's coming, I've noticed a sizable shift in the attention that's being put on the Caribbean. I've noticed it. I've been following the news. I've noticed how they've been approaching us with a bit more circumspection and a bit more interest, especially players that you never heard about before, like the Saudis. Like you said, the Saudis have been here from the 70s. Now they're back in a pronounced way. You know, even places in the World Bank, they're spreading their wings out a bit more over the Caribbean, which is good. You know, and I have to put my hat to at least putting the spotlight on the Caribbean, because there's no secret her father's Jamaican.
Okay. Yes, but I mean, a lot of people in the United States government and Congress, they have Caribbean links. And it's been that way for at least 3 decades. We've seen the Caribbean links there, but I've never really seen that much interest paid. So
We've never seen that kind of interest until now.
I'm not that quick to give the United States that much credit.
You hate the US, Kim? You hate the US?
No, I'm just saying you need, I would actually give credit to people like UNSG and even Mia Motley, right? So they've been around the world and they've been a voice to reckon with. I think Mia Motley has been seen, Barbados. She comes from a country called Barbados. They've been viewed as being like the underdog. They're just an islander, but she's placed her stamp on the world, and she's let the voice be heard. I mean, we're seeing developmental projects happening, not just for protection with climate change, but other areas socially. At least for St. Vincent and Grenadines, I believe their loan is to and their signing is to help improve the nation's healthcare, and it's about time St. Vincent gets some improvement in those sectors.
Yeah.
But I know that in my research, this fund has links with the United Nations, because they try to align whatever they're doing with its sustainable goals and whatever goals they set up for that particular period and decade.
Okay, fair enough. So other people in the mix, that's true. But I still believe Kamala Harris is the linchpin in all of this. Yeah, I still believe that, because I've noticed a shift, man. I've noticed things that happen, because they always had these things before Kim. They've always had these things. But anyway, we'll agree to disagree. I digress then. So otherwise than that, I mean, did you get this this report from the Caribbean Climate Outlook newsletter?
No, I don't subscribe.
You don't subscribe? Okay. They're saying that over the next 3 months is going to be the warmest the Caribbean has ever been in history. They're warning that the temperatures could be warmer than any other time in history these next 3 months. So you got to be very, very careful, man, how we approach this summer. If you have your water, put your water on hand. Make sure you're in an air-conditioned place if you have it. Make sure your windows open and your place is very ventilated, because it's going to get very, very hot, and it's the hottest it's ever been in history.
Well, they're saying La Nina is in effect right now, right? So La Nina, in fact, everything takes a turn and a change.
Yeah, and they're warning against continued heat stress. They call it heat stress.
Yeah.
So be careful.
I mean, our temperatures have gone up to 34 yesterday. Yesterday was one of our hotter days.
Yeah.
And, today was extremely hot, but we had some showers. Saturday, we actually had some crazy weather in San Fernando that resulted in most of the entire city in a gridlock with floods. Floods caused. We even had a tornado. The entire sky turned black. And we had a tornado that actually touched down partially and then quickly dissipated. But I mean, we didn't expect that bad weather and the amount of rainfall to fall in such a short period of time, and concentrated in the city of San Fernando and environment. And it was really scary, because Saturday is a day all of us go and do our errands, and we make our way around the city, doing groceries, picking up your pharmaceuticals, everything.
And you got stuff to do, yeah.
And there was, everywhere we turned, there was flood. A flood that was reaching as high as the top of your van and your vehicles.
Oh, wow.
And
That's scary.
It came up quickly. It came up very quickly. Rivers broke its banks, flooding into the malls, restaurants, everything got flooded. It was awful.
Oh, wow.
And
speaking of that,
similar weather.
Well, speaking of that, they have another system that's developing in the eastern part of the Caribbean right now, right off the coast of Bermuda, apparently. The National Weather Center is saying that, the National Hurricane Center is saying that there's a disturbance that could form into a tropical depression in the next 2 or 3 days. They haven't named it just yet, but we've already had 4 tropical storms thus far for the season. And they said we're going into September now, which is going to be the very, very busy season for the hurricane season. The next 3 months between August, September, and October is going to be the most busiest months of the Caribbean hurricane season. And he says about 475 miles off the southeast of Bermuda, this tropical depression that is forming that could turn into a tropical storm in the next 2 or 3 days. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah. So while you're having a bad weather in Trinidad, people are just gonna have to be prepared again for another possible tropical storm. Hopefully it just dissipates after the next 4 months. But like they said, these months are going to be the most busiest months for hurricane season. And on history, it is, because I think Irma and Maria happened in September 2018, didn't it? And Hurricane Dorian happened in September 2019. So you got to be very, very careful, man. We're going into that part of the season now. This is crunch time, Kim, crunch time. Even some of my neighbors have been cutting down the trees right now. They could have cut their trees down months ago. They started to chop their trees down as of last week. I'm seeing all the utility trucks around the island. They're securing their lines and securing their poles like they're preparing for the worst. They say the animals know exactly what's going to happen. So maybe the humans have a feeling that things going to happen in a certain way. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, September and October are usually bumper months in the hurricane season.
Yeah,
it usually gets ramped up then. September, we have a period called Petit Karim, which is the hotter, just like a dry spell. It's like a mini dry season we have here in Trinidad. And usually around that time, not too long after, we get a good bit of rain coming from a lot of the tropical waves and tropical depressions that eventually turn into storms and hurricanes. So we are kind of mindful and looking out for it, but the rains that are coming, it's downpours that are coming at really rapid rates. I mean, that rainfall we had Saturday, it was really some huge drops. We could not see driving. Wow. It was white rain. Everyone had on their hazards on the highways. You had to be careful because you couldn't even judge the distance of the car in front of you. And it was huge. I was extra cautious, and driving in the rain like that is a nightmare to any, I think, to any commuter, any driver. But the amount of rainfall that our Met services recorded was quite astonishing, because in such a short period, it was a good bit of millimeters that came in a very short space. It was constant rain. And that is what we have to brace ourselves for moving forward. Even though we're having these hot days, which what La Nina usually brings, you're also having these, when the rain comes, it really does.
Flash floods, these floods, right. And that's what all the climate scientists are saying, it's going to get hot and you're going to have more water. It's kind of like oxymoron, but then the way they explain it, I really understand, because more water is going to come, and it's going to cause even more drought. So you're going to have more rain, more floods, and more drought. Man, we messes well, haven't we though, Kim? Haven't we, right?
Yeah, we have. We have. And there are certain things that we need to do infrastructure-wise when it comes to even taking care of to prevent natural disasters, when it comes to land development laws, the way we cut our waterways, the rivers, in order to facilitate these land developments. Treading and cleaning our rivers and our waterways, because
that's important.
Taking
care of wetlands.
Exactly, we're not doing that. That's why we have all this rain. When you have rain, you have to dredge and remove the sediments that have built up. Otherwise, when the waters come, it rises up to higher levels.
Yep. There needs to be more stricter environmental codes for building. You guys have an environmental agency? I assume you do.
We have the Environmental Management Agency. We have Town and Country Planning, which is supposed to deal with how we plan and develop our lands. We have the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, which is supposed to take care of our main waterways or water. There's a department set up for those things, and it's not done.
The same thing here. I think any development that happens here in the Bahamas, they have to get environmental clearance from the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection. And without that, your project is not going anywhere. So they have to be secured and satisfied that, you know, you're taking precautions with regard to any kind of land clearing, any kind of flood mitigation strategies, anything that could affect the environment, the wetlands particularly, you have to put that into consideration. So you just can't go clearing land. Even if you want to clear your own land, you have to get approval from the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection. That's just how serious they take it in.
That's good there. When it comes to all housing, normal development, if we have a land space that has been dedicated for residential construction, the only place you go through is our regional corporations and the town and country planning, which is for planning and development division.
So it's a one-stop shop.
No, it's two places. So we have to get approval from town and country. That's at Ministry of Planning level. And then they are that's at county level as well. And then they pass it on to our regional corporations, which has a building inspector. That's usually to ensure that the sewage is aligned in the right proper way. Disposing of your sewage, and that's basically why it goes through the regional corporation, because they're in charge of the sewage. Other than that, when it comes to doing major projects like opening businesses, doing factories and industry, you have to get a certificate of environmental clearance from the Environmental Management Agency here in Trinidad, Authority. And that's how it works. That usually takes quite a good bit of deliberations. But it usually gets passed once. The amount gets passed.
It isn't anything that's held up, right? There's something that's a matter of fact. They look at it, right? There's nothing that they can really hold you up for, right?
Some things they do. I know right now we have a company called Touchstone. We would have reported on Touchstone exploration some time ago.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
They have reintroduced onshore exploration of oil and gas. Gone into forested areas in our southern parts of the country, and they're digging pipelines and connecting these pipelines as well. So they're a Canadian-based company. They also have extensions in Texas as well. And they took some time to get certificate of environmental clearance to continue these projects. And I know we would have reported on it, but it was quite a big hurrah for them because they knew how long it had taken. They complained about the amount of red tape and, you know, having to go through all the mandatory reasons of how to align themselves correctly to pass all laws and everything. And it was quite a thick booklet. I remember the CEO talking a good bit about it.
Okay. That's good, man. At least you guys have some sort of protection for the environment. That's good. Because I can imagine some countries don't even take that serious. But every Caribbean country should follow the Barbados model. But they have their environmental protection agency, and it's very, very prominent, man. You can't do anything about Barbados. They're even more stricter than the Bahamas, actually. We model our Department of Environmental Planning and Protection after the Barbados Environmental Protection Agency. You know?
I don't think they're strict here in Trinidad because we have a residential area where my parents live. And cement dredging kind of facility was erected, and it sets off thick dark soot ever so often when they put that
sounds like a tort. That sounds like a tort case. You guys should take that to court because they should. Were you guys there first?
Yes, they actually took land from former colony workers. Those people went to court and they had to pay them off because they decided, hey, we're taking this land no matter what. And
that's like a kangaroo court, Kim.
They've gotten away with it. Many of the residents have clamored.
They should have appealed that. They should have appealed that straight to the Privy Council, because guess what? That sounds like they intentionally damaged your property. And just because they're a big company and they've invested a lot of money does not mean that they should be allowed to continually damage the area and put people off of their property. That's wrong. And there's a standing case for that. Yeah. There are cases for that.
Money talks and bullshit walks.
See, that's why you need to have a good lawyer. That lawyer should have gone straight to the Court of Appeal and said no.
I mean, it's a small man, right? A small man having it's how much money these big companies, they have a good bit and they are able to pay off and have their way.
Mm.
I have no respect of that company. Ever since they came, when you wipe your coffee table, you get
Mm.
it's black.
No,
I
no,
that
Kim, you
coffee
guys,
table every 3 days, and it's black.
trust me, I'm quite certain a good lawyer from the Hugh Whitting Law School. That's a Hugh Whitting, right?
Yeah. So
A
you
good
wouldn't,
lawyer,
but
a good lawyer from who just graduated from Hugh Whitting Law School would love to take this case because that's a severe tort case. That's a serious
I don't
tort
have
case.
faith in our legal system here in Trinidad for that to happen.
Oh my goodness, man. That sounds like Hedley Byrne v. Heller. Yeah, the principle of
Yeah.
pure economic loss in English law. That's the case you stand right there on, Hedley Byrne v. Heller. There was this company that was pardon me, say?
Continue.
I said there was this company doing the same thing, putting damage in the area, and they were what were they doing? Let me look at the summary here. Oh no, that's the wrong case. Sorry, wrong case. There's another case. There's another case of this. Sorry, not Hedley v. Byrne. Oh, my law professor they're so pissed at me right now. But yeah, there's precedent for that, man. You just can't go and damage people's property, and especially if it's a runoff or like it's damaging the air or the water quality. But there was a case in Guyana too, actually, a gold mining company that damaged the water in Guyana, and they had to pay those people out, and they had to move the area, they had to move from the area, man.
I would like to see that happen here by my parents, but
just take it to court. Go all the way to the court. Go to the court.
I think it's a matter of having the money to put out to go up against these big companies. Residents, they came together. It was only so much they were able to do.
I got
This
you. I
is,
got you.
this is a fairly quiet community. Everyone is probably near retirement age. It's a village that the parents, my parents, my grandparents, that generation, their children are not settling within the area, they're moving out of the area. So it's that kind of village. Why are you're making these retirees spend their hard-earned money on something like that? You're disturbing the peace. They've been here all their lives.
Oh Lord, that's why I say find a good young law student from Hugh Whitting Law School. Someone who just graduated, probably 2-3 years out. He'd love to take the
But I
case.
have experience. I don't think a law student is the best thing in this country. You need to have someone
a
who
brand new
has
law
the
student, a brand new law graduate, I should say, law graduate.
I know you're saying that because that's what you are going to be soon. But you have to have experience and grit to be able to go up against these large corporations.
I'm certain someone would take that case, okay. I mean, don't give up on it. You know, at least tell your parents don't give up on it because you should not be dealing with that. That is disgraceful, man. They couldn't, and just because they're a large company doesn't mean they should have the capacity to pay you out and get away with it. That's not the way how the law works, man. You know, you have to give people compensation, and you have to stop, and you have to make sure it doesn't happen again. Ideally. That's the law. I mean, that's the law. There's precedent for that. That's the law.
I know you, but
and they take advantage of they take advantage of humble people because of the same thing, because they don't want to go, they don't want to push the issue, they don't want to fight. Fight, man, fight. Take them to court. Final, someone will do it for you. Some crazy law, you don't care about nobody, but go in there and fight for you all. I'm serious. Anyway, that's not getting all that. It's like it's getting kind of, you're probably saying too much that you shouldn't be saying on the air about what's going on with your family life and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so leave that alone. So, but you want to have my day yesterday? I had the worst day yesterday, Kim. Oh my goodness! I was doing my morning jog and I lost my key on my route. I stopped my jog around 4 o'clock. I finished like around, let's say, about 6:30 or so. Then I jogged back to the gym. I found that I didn't have my key in my pocket. So I had to walk back, retrace my route, and walk back my entire route, trying to see where I dropped my key. And I couldn't find it. I re-walked my route 3 times. 3 times, and I could not find my key. I didn't have a dime in my pocket, Kim. My wallet was stuck in my car. I didn't have a dime to get a key cut. It's a good thing one of my high school buddies was it?
Don't you have like a spare key at home or something?
No, there's no spare key. I didn't have a spare key. I didn't have a spare key at all. I totally messed up. I just kept on putting it off getting a spare key. So the guy, the locksmith had to come to my car and cut a key right for me right then and there and give me a spare key. I spent $90 trying to get that done. And my like I say, my high school friend, she saw my cry, my plea on my WhatsApp, and she said, you know something, I'll help you. I'll send you my locksmith guy. I'll send the money to your account. You will get it done. Thank God she saved me. Thank God she saved me. Because I was the one. You can imagine, I walk a whole 4.5 miles, 3 extra times outside of my job, trying to find my key on that route. And I could not find my key. I could not find my key on that route. They don't know what happened. You just see me looking on the street like I was some kind of street man, like some kind of Jones kid. I was looking down like I was looking for crack. It was bad. And I missed a whole day of work. Looking for that key. They didn't have any money to get a spare key. But you know, my friend, she saw my plea. She said, "You already haven't gotten your car sorted yet?" And I said, "No, but I'm gonna send you the money. I'm gonna send you my locksmith guy." I said, "Thank you, Lord, hallelujah, praise Jesus, man." Because I would have been right there looking for that key again tonight.
And that teaches you a lesson of procrastination. You got God's grace to help you out.
Yeah.
Procrastination. That has happened to my husband and I a few times. My dad. I remember my dad, when he had recently bought the car, we went to the supermarket together, quite in outskirts of San Fernando. And we actually had a family dinner with relatives coming in from abroad in the evening, and we had to prepare dinner. And he had locked the key in the car.
Oh boy.
He had to send me. It's like, okay, Kim, you've got to take a travel home, and well, you know where my spare key is, and you'll have to bring it back for me or something like that. Or he got a co-worker to come home with him, and he got the spare key. And the same thing with my husband. And since then, they've learned to keep a spare key at home and a spare key on them.
Yeah.
Right?
That's good.
So we've got 3 keys, and if one of us has to know where it is.
You know, this spare key, I'm going to get this spare key because I'm going to keep a spare key here as well. Because the locksmith coming to you costs a bit more than actually going to the locksmith itself. Yeah, so I think they get a key cut probably about $15. So I'm gonna get this key cut sometime this week, maybe tomorrow. Go right into the locksmith, get that key cut again, and see what happens. Because man, my God, I was in panic, Kim. I couldn't believe that happened. I think happened. I have my player in my pocket because the clip off the back of my player broke. Usually I have my player on my arm, or my sweat behind my arm, but the clip broke. So I was putting my player inside my pocket. So I wanted to shift the music. I want to change the music. So I reached into my pocket with my key in my pocket, with the player in the same pocket. And I pulled out my player and I put it back in. But I probably pulled out my player. My key fell out when I pulled out my player.
So as a guy though, this is something I see my dad and my husband doing when they go jogging. And they actually take their keys and it's tied in a separate string to connect it to their pants. Even when we go to the beach, they do this as well, right?
Yeah, I should do that.
To them. And it's a different pocket from where they would keep their cell phone and their wallets.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So they've got a clip and a key that keeps that on there.
That's right on. But you know what I'll do now? I'll wrap the key up inside a piece of tissue, like a strong piece of hand towel, and put it in my pocket so I can at least feel in my pocket every now and then where the key is.
You've got to tie that. You've got to get those clips. I'm telling you, I've had this experience too many times with the men in my life. Y'all take this thing for granted. Don't laugh at women for walking with fanny packs. When we go to the gym, I actually have a packet or a belt that's around me that has everything. It has clips on it. I will show you. I will send you a picture. It's a slim belt. I could actually hide on it's unisex. You could actually hide it under your t-shirt.
That's your fanny pack. Okay,
yeah, and it's slim. You can put your cell phone there. It has a clip for the keys and a pocket for the keys. Everything. Y'all laugh at women for carrying these things. Sure these things happen more with guys than men, I believe.
Yeah, of course. Because I something like I said, the clip broke off my player. I was keeping my player inside my pocket, and I recently changed the song. My key just probably fell right up, and I don't even remember where I changed the song. I know I changed the song somewhere on the route. I can't remember exactly at what point I changed the song. Or I got tired listening to the same song over and over. So God knows where that key was. So I ended up walking yesterday. Between walking and jogging, I probably walked over 20 miles yesterday. Back and forth over the same route over and over again, over and over again. And I broke under 200 pounds, actually. Yeah, I broke under 200 pounds. Actually, I was at 195 pounds yesterday. I'm back to 200 pounds this morning, but still, I walked it off yesterday. Yeah, it was crazy, man. I was walking like I was a crackhead, Kim. I was looking on the ground. People was looking at me saying, "What's going on with you?" I got my people saying, "He always lost his mind." You know, that woman finally drove him crazy. That red woman finally drove him crazy.
A red woman, you're letting out too much.
Yeah, a red woman drove me crazy. I think he's finally out of my life now. So it wasn't her. It wasn't her. But still though, it was real panic, man, because and you know the funny thing about God though, Kim? I sat down, I went to the bus stops because I was tired. This is on my last lap. This is the last lap I went around. And I went 2 times around the regular way I normally jog. I walked it the reverse way the last time. I sat at the bus stop. I said, some God, I say, can you please help me find this key? Can you please help me out today? Please, in the name of Jesus. I felt this light breeze just blowing my back. And at that same time, my friend was messaging me. And he said, something, you already got your car? Sorry, yet no. I said, I'm still looking for my key. Okay, here's what. I'm gonna send you my locksmith guy. I'm gonna send you a couple dollars, Yuri, so you can get it done. I said, hallelujah, praise God. Praise God. And just like that, he answered my prayer. Not that I didn't find my key, but he answered my prayer. At least I could move from there. So
you never found the key though.
Never found the key. I'm not gonna find it anymore, man. That's like looking for needle in haystacks. I don't even know where on the road I actually put my player out to go listen to that song or change the song. I don't even know where it was.
Yeah.
I have no clue. Because when you're in exercise mode, we think about all that different stuff. You're just moving, right? You're just moving. But I know
yeah,
better.
I know. I mean, I think women think differently in a sense.
You guys are more scary, more cautious, right?
Yeah. Women, we're more aware of our surroundings. I know when I'm jogging, I have my playlist. And in the midst of my playlist, I usually mark each song. I think we have that two sides of our brain, working. We kind of memorize, okay, that this song is playing with this tree. Because I will remember it. And I kind of count my steps, count my jogging movements, where we reach when the song is like, okay, any timing of the song too. Okay, this song is about 3 minutes long. This song is about 2.5. Yeah. I think I don't know. I probably am a little more conscious of those things. I'm not saying it could happen to me because I think something like an earbud would have fall out or something if I'm.
Oh, you have earbuds. Okay.
Yeah. So earbuds would fall out and like, all right, you know what, you could kind of have idea where that went.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be hearing the music anymore, right? So
Well, sometimes the buds would actually flip out. Not the wireless ones, I'm talking about the wired ones.
Oh, the wired ones. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like those. I have those Bluetooth ones. I don't like them.
I don't like them either, for some reason I think it's just too much. It's too showy. It's too showy. I mean,
I like the
too
wired
showy.
ones.
I don't feel comfortable with them.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with them. I got them because my headset, the connector was not working.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Then it starts beeping on one side, low battery. I'm giving up on it.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. I it's just too showy for me, man. It's too much. It's just too much, man. Those wireless headsets.
My parents do use them, and they use them better than me.
Really?
My parents is like, I'll be talking to my mom if I come home. I'm seeing her phone here. I'm calling. The phone is ringing there, but she's not near her phone. And I see her in the kitchen because she has her earbuds listening to whatever she's listening to.
Doesn't that freak you out? Like you're talking to somebody, or you see somebody walking by just talking to themselves. Like, what the hell are you doing? And you think they're talking to you, but they're really on their phone. It just looks like a bunch of crazy people, man. It always freaks me out when that happens, man.
It does, but she has the 2 earbuds and she's busy listening to something.
I got you. How's your mom and your father anyway, though? How are they?
They are okay. They are planning some trips. And
trips.
My dad's retirement is coming up in October.
Okay. Oh.
It is in a few weeks. So they've got their itinerary out.
So you're leaving you guys in the dust. They're going to enjoy their life.
Yeah, them all right.
It must feel good to be finally retired now and off with your sweetie and your kids are grown and you can do whatever it is you want with your woman.
Yeah, and the bills are paid.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, man. You know, leave that man to his woman, Kim.
Yeah, that's when you have children young.
Mm.
That's a good thing about having children young. You
Mm.
know, that's when you reach retirement, you don't have to worry about them, you know,
Yeah.
they're taken care of by themselves.
So your father's 65, I guess, right?
No, 60.
60. Oh, the retirement age is 60?
Yeah. Over here is
Wow.
60. So he'll be turning 60 in October.
Well, how you guys making up
Had-
with that? Because people have been trying to increase the retirement age, man.
Yeah,
That's what
they've
they're
been
bringing
trying
down France
to-
for.
What's that?
That's what they're bringing down France for. Macron wanted to increase the retirement age to 68, I think.
They're looking
Yeah.
at that here to 65 in Trinidad.
We're
but it's gonna
65 here.
take No, they usually work till 60. And if
Okay.
you're good, depending on how good the company is, they will contract you out till
Mm.
probably 65 if they so desire.
Mhm. Okay,
So
okay.
I would like that for him for him. I know he enjoys his job.
Okay.
Like to do that. It would be nice if they saw it. He is the only one. He's one of his kind in his arena here in South Trinidad. So it would be of value and plus to them to make use of
Okay.
him that way.
Okay, in the essence of not giving out false information, misinformation, France wanted to increase the retirement age from 62 to 64. But let's be honest, 64, yeah. I mean, you just can't pay for all these social benefits, man. You know, people need to work longer and we need people paying into the system more, or else the social security system is going to go broke.
Yeah, here in Trinidad, people have been contributing to their NIS, which is their pension payment plan.
That's good.
The public for from the day you start working, you have to contribute.
That's good. That's
NIS,
good.
right?
That's good.
And they're complaining that they've lost millions and billions of dollars from mismanagement. And they're not admitting that. And this is the whole reasoning for increasing the retirement age to 65. There's been a bit of clamor about it. Whenever they've gone before the Joint Select Committee meeting and they've asked, where's the money? What's happening with it? The answers are very unclear.
They never know.
Always take the public, they've seen it as a public purse and they've been dipping their hands in it and redirecting people's money elsewhere.
Yeah, and that's the same thing here in the Bahamas too, you know. We use the National Insurance Fund to invest in almost everything under the sun. They've even invested in the Bahamas brewery and all that. You know, that always ticked me off when they took the money they bought rum with our money. That ticked me off, man. And they've invested in everything. National insurance, they buy properties, they invest in companies on the Bahamas Stock Exchange. It's just like, it's ludicrous how they do how they use the public funds, man. And guess what? During the COVID-19, it got really worse because they use national insurance money to pay all these people these unemployment benefits. And of course, you know, the system was already a slack system, right? So, you know, people were getting double and triple payments, right? And some people who were dead were getting payments. So, you know, it turned into a huge fraud. Man, during the pandemic, that's what I realized some of people we have running around this place in the Bahamas, not necessarily leaders, but the people who are in some of these positions and these jobs, they are heartless, Kim. This is a pandemic. This was a pandemic. And you took a chance to steal during the pandemic, man. I guess you're okay though, Kim, huh?
I'm here.
Okay, your camera, your camera's off. Okay, yeah. I think some of these people are heartless, Kim. How are you going to take advantage of a pandemic like that? And everyone's hurting. Everyone's hurting, man. You know, they want me to run again for office. Not for these people. No, these people. You're crazy.
Politics.
Yeah, man. But yeah.
I'm hot and sweaty because all local government elections are coming up. And they're treating it like if it's a general election.
Starts writing on it, right?
I don't think it's right. Because local government, and we've explained this too many times, it's been stymied. And they're trying to go for this whole reform thing. And even the whole incident that happened on Saturday, they blamed the opposition for it. It's amazing how politics works. Like, okay, then. Anyway, yeah, that's politics for you. But it's really unfair to make your people work longer. People some people have worked from the time they came out of school as teenagers.
Yes, yes.
It's at some point in time you want to be able to enjoy your life
Mm-hmm.
before those age-related health issues come on stream.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you want to be able to have some semblance of enjoying retirement and that home and all that you've worked hard for. My dad is one that worked multiple jobs for getting his own home. He owns his own home. They've paid off the mortgage. He has his property. She's already paid for his children's education. And he just wants to be able to enjoy life. He still looks good for his age. He wants to go see his family. He wants to be on his own beat and his own time. He has other things to do. He has his gardening, which is like a side business. He has because he's growing rice as well, and we're looking selling that rice. He has provisions. He's sold that in the market, pumpkin and vegetables and crops like that. So he has other things that he enjoys doing that he wants to focus his time and energy on. Right now, with his full-time job, he just does that part-time.
Nice, like going to gardening full-time. That's life, man. That's life. I wish Mr. Calawan all the best, man. I hope he enjoys his retirement, like how he has it planned out, that no sickness comes to his house, and he enjoys his wife to a ripe old age.
Yes, I pray for that. I pray for that every single day.
Yes, he enjoys his sweetie till the end of his days. Yes. But speaking of this, some other stuff is going on, Trina. What's Kamala running on with, man? Apparently she said, light them up.
Yes, so
she on her mind.
Over the weekend, she's been pushing the stand your ground law if they were to come into office.
Yes.
And over the weekend, a woman, she killed an intruder that was entering her home. And now she is going to be charged for killing that intruder.
Yeah, you can't do that in Commonwealth countries,
right? And because they're saying she's not the owner of the gun license. They're saying that she was not sure of their intentions. But if you're seeing a group of men coming into your home at a certain hour of the night, and it's just you and your daughter home, what are you supposed to do? Defend yourself?
Yes.
Some way. Or are you just going to allow them to come in and assault you and do all these things, and then
that helps nobody.
Exactly. So I think her reference to lighting them up is like, yeah, pull the trigger. I mean, they've made it so difficult to even getting pepper spray in Trinidad.
Wow.
You have to go through a whole licensing process, and it's so much paperwork just to get that pepper spray. So women are left to their own self. They have no way of protecting themselves.
Wow.
Right.
That's where she's coming from. Light them up, and apparently Gary Griffin is backing her up with that too.
He, being the former commissioner of police, he being a former minister of national security, as well as a member of the defense force, I think he has a good understanding. He's the one that pushed for the pepper spray, right? Okay. He's the one that pushed for the pepper spray because he believed women needed to have some sort of self-defense. And it was then, brought Parliament, and then the police brought it when he was removed of commissioner. But it's so much paperwork, they've made it difficult. If you go onto the police TTPS website, it's very difficult, and you check for it. People have been complaining. You upload your documents, you put everything, and it's still a lengthy process.
I know. I think over here you could buy pepper spray almost over the counter. You need to go through anything else. You go to an outdoor sportsman, you pick up your pepper spray, and you go into business. But you need a license for a taser, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, leave it at that. I was going to say something.
What?
My cousins from abroad would have sent some things for us to keep in our cars to protect ourselves. And they said, don't let anyone know.
Yeah. Well, you guys smuggle that into the country, though. Kim, you're doing naughty things.
But if we were to get caught using it, we would be charged just like that lady.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
So Kamala's right. So light them up. I'm with anybody who's trying to defend themselves against an attacker, man. Light them up, But I think I'm reading an editorial now where someone's asking her to be more careful with her words, be more responsible with her words, man. She shouldn't have said that. She's a leader, man. She's a national leader.
Yes, they're saying that the way she said it, the tone, she says you're sending the wrong message. But someone has to say it.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't think I particularly like this dress she has on, man. She has on something that looks like an African garb.
Yeah, it's because of Emancipation Day.
Yeah, I think it's cultural appropriation, man. You don't think so?
We're in Trinidad and Tobago. This is it. Because she's Indian. But the thing is, everyone wears an Indian wear during Indian Arrival Day and Diwali.
Yeah, I think that's cultural appropriation.
Multicultural society here in Trinidad.
That's cultural appropriation.
I think that's your American ways talking there.
You think so? I don't know, man.
Yes, because we're multicultural. All words are discipline, tolerance, right? And we have that with each other.
I saw her dancing too, apparently.
She moves around me. I think all leaders, even our news anchors, wear African garb on the night, regardless of what your race.
Okay.
Right.
So Kamala gets a pass.
Now, if you see a person of an African descent wearing Indian wear, what would you say there too? You think it's wrong? We live in a multicultural society where we celebrate all these things together.
Maybe because I took it the wrong way. It's like she was mocking, especially how she was dancing too, like she was mocking the entire situation. But anyway,
Kamala has always worn a clothing for every event. And even all presidents, regardless of your race or all leaders, they will go to parliament in the wear and in the attire for the day. And usually she would have been invited to a celebration, and she's wearing that as well.
I know Raleigh wears his stuff. He wears his Indian stuff and his Islamic stuff and his Middle Eastern stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't get it.
I think it's a matter of you growing up and living in a mixed society like ours.
All these cultural influence. That's what Raleigh said. This is a very multicultural country, man, a melting pot. That was his latest statements after the Emancipation Day events. Did you listen to what he had to say? He says a rich country full of different ethnicities. I took a little
bit of what he said. Yes.
Yeah, man, full of different ethnicities and a very multicultural society, man. He's right. I guess Kamala is just prototypical of that,
And if it's double 10, which you celebrate the 10th of the 10th in October, which is a Chinese festival,
really?
You see her in a Chinese garb as well.
She could dance too. I didn't know she was still dancing though.
She went to school in Mona, Jamaica, and they had a problem with her. There was a Carca meeting, and she was dancing to Bob Marley, reggae, like that. Kamala's a very light-hearted person in that way.
I could see that, man. Yeah, Tanti Kamala, she's a good politician, man. The shame she got, packing, but I guess it is what it is. Politics, breaks your heart every now and then. But Kim, that's 9:29, man. Any final thoughts you have for today? Thank you for coming back, though.
I'm trying. I'm really trying my best to hold it down.
Yeah,
but you see, there for a moment is because, I just need a moment.
I need a moment to catch yourself. I know. I got you, man.
Yeah.
We understand. Trust me, we understand. And anyone who's watching this, they know exactly how you feel. But yeah, man. Kim, thank you for joining us again for another LimeVibe Live podcast, man. I have to say too, if you have not done so, please like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page, LimeVibe77. That's LimeVibe77 on Facebook and YouTube. Please, it really helps us out with sharing the message with what's going on in the Caribbean, and it really gets our message out there so people can really hear what we have going on. And also, there's a donate link inside the description. So please, anything that moves your heart to give to the LimeVibe podcast, we would greatly appreciate and accept it. So there's a donate link right in the description. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page, LimeVibe77. LimeVibe77 really helps us get our message out there. So thank you so much, Kim, for joining us again. Good night.